Okay, section 1, 2. And I know it gets a little confusing because we're actually on day 4 today, right? Well, we're in section 1, 2. So, sorry, just nature of the beast. Okay, linear measure. Yesterday you wanted to? Oh, they have it in pink and blue. I thought you were suggesting blue. Hold on, I'll be with you guys in a second. Yeah. You want with you. Well, because it matches everything. Right. I mean, if you were wearing, let's say, brown,
come on.
You were brown with a pink calculator, you'd be laughed out of the room, right? So, classic black, you're good to go with everything. Awesome. Great choice. I never would have thought of that. I would have gone with my favorite color, but then realistically, can you imagine a blue calculator and you're wearing like black shoes and black belt? It's a major fashion faux pas. Sorry, got sidetracked there for a second. That happens a lot. Okay, line segment. We will eventually, when we get comfortable with the term, we will shorten a line segment just to a segment. However, we cannot shorten a line segment to the term line. They're completely different. Notice the definition. There's an important little word in there which says finite. What does finite mean? Not infinite. It's the opposite of infinite. So if infinite means goes on forever and ever, finite would mean it doesn't go on forever and ever. I got one. Looks like that. How many points on that line segment? Think carefully before you answer. You going 2? Yeah. Okay. Anybody else 2? Good. You got some people on the bandwagon. Any other answers? Infinite. Anybody want to jump on the infinity bandwagon? Ooh, that seems to be the charge there. You went with 2, thinking A and B.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, but then you got all that other stuff.
Yeah.
It's infinite. Which has more points, the line segment or the line? They're the same, right? I think we pretty much drilled that infinity thing into the ground. Notation for a segment. So if we're talking about a line, you write 2 points on the line, and you put a line segment over it. When you're you put a line over it. When you're talking about line segments, these are the 2 endpoints. Okay, the endpoints are the things at the end. And you put the 2 endpoints in either order because they're the same thing, and you put a little line segment over it. It's kind of crazy. When you're talking about a line, you put a line over it. When you're talking about a segment or a line segment, you put a line segment over it. It doesn't matter how many other points on that line segment are labeled. We only care about the endpoints. This means I'm talking about all the points between A and B. Inclusive, meaning you're including A and B. So in your notes, draw and label the segment XY and measure it if you have a ruler. Do that now. How many people have a ruler with them? Awesome. If you don't, guesstimate. Guesstimate. It's not really a guess. It's not really an estimate. It's kind of a combination of the 2. When you get that done, put the point Q between X and Y. So walking around the room, everybody did the exact same thing. And that is the following. Okay, we're good, right? Anybody do anything different? I did. If you did, I didn't see it. Good. So what does the word between mean? I said, Will, what's it mean?
Means
Is Q between X and Y?
yes.
Okay. Do we all agree? Yes, as do I. Now, define the word between. Andrew, right?
Yeah.
And Brenna. Are you between Andrew and Brenna?
Yeah.
You sure?
Yeah.
Is he?
Yes.
Good. Are you between Andrew and Nicole?
Yeah.
Yeah. You sure?
Yeah.
Is he?
Yes.
So then why did all of you draw Q in the middle? Just because you're feeling saucy and that's where you thought it should be? Okay. Are you, okay, so you're in this row and this, well that's actually a column, but you're here, okay. Are you between Andrew and Anna Maria?
No.
No? You're not. Is he?
No.
No? Why not?
Because he's not in the middle of him.
But he's not in the middle of him and her.
Well, you don't have to be like in the exact middle, but you have to be somewhere in the same line.
They have to be on the same line segment. Not on the same line. Just on the same line segment. So if I connect Anna Marie and Andrew with a line, Will's not on that line segment, so not between. But this is a line segment, so he's between those other people. Are we okay with that?
Yeah. Sure.
Are you okay with that?
Yeah.
Okay, great. So what does between mean? You got half of it. Joe?
So lie beside two things.
He's sitting. See what I did with it? To lie between two things. So he's not between these two things? Nothing personal.
No, because in order for him to be between, one would have to be in front and behind, but one would have to be to the left and to the right.
But he's to the right of Andrew. And he's to the left of Anna Marie.
Line segment though goes from there to there.
So you want to go back to the line
One side of
segment
the line
thing?
segment.
All right. Anybody else? What do you got? Come here, Ashley, what do you got?
Between us, when you're like,
Okay, hold on for 1 second. Let me give you a couple other options. And feel free to jump in, kids. Is that between X and Y?
no.
Yeah.
Well, yes.
Well, now hold on. Let's go back over here. Is Will between Andrew and Anna Marie?
No.
No.
Maybe he is.
He's not on the line, just between them. They give like
Are we all in agreement that Q is between X and Y?
Yes.
Okay, good. Let's try something easier. Is K between X and Y?
Yes.
Beautiful. Here we go again. Is P, oh, no, I'll give you another easy one. Hold on, let's put this one over here. Is L between X and Y?
No.
Did anybody say yes? So we're all in agreement that that's a no. All right, let's go back to this guy.
Yes.
Is P between X and Y?
Yes.
No.
Yeah. Let's not turn violent.
No.
How many think it's no? Raise your hand. How many think it's yes? How many are completely confused? How many just stab themselves with their own pen? Okay, good. So we're okay with Q, we're okay with K, we're okay with L. P is causing some problems. What's the difference then between P and L? Isn't it the same scenario?
It's off the charts.
pretty much.
It's off the charts. It just went all crazy. Again, what's the difference between P and L then?
L is past X and P isn't.
L is past what?
L is to the left of X. L is to the left of both X and Y, but P is to the left.
So you're saying if I took L then,
Yeah.
and I moved L over here, would that be between X and Y?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. Yeah.
There seems to be some discrepancy here.
It's not a line.
I'm guessing, I'm going to go out on a limb here, but I'm guessing what most of you are doing, whether it's consciously or subconsciously, you're doing this. You're creating these magical lines that appear out of nowhere and saying, well, if it's in these magical lines, then it must be between. Is that an accurate statement?
No.
Okay. Some of you just keep shouting no matter what I ask. Do you like dogs? No! Are you still breathing? No! For those of you that chose this L to be no, but this L to be yes, those are who I'm directing this towards. Where are you? The two of you? Three of you? Is that what you're doing? Are you imagining that there's these lines there that all of a sudden put it in between? Okay, I will tell you for discussion purposes, because our only goal here, well, we have lots of goals, but the main reason we're doing this is to define this word. I will tell you that according to our definitions, those would not be between X and Y. Okay, so those 3 points are not between X and Y. K and Q are, so the question is, what does it mean for a point to be between two other points? Okay, back to you, Ashley.
It has to be somewhere in between. Oh,
You can't use the word to define, what's a dog?
in
A
the
dog is a
middle
dog.
of the two endpoints in the last one.
In the middle of.
Or
Is
somewhere.
Q in the middle of?
Yeah.
Yeah. Is K? No.
Somewhere.
I like
on
that.
the
Oh.
line between the two endpoints.
Oh. So close. Because you just used between to define the word between.
Oh. Somewhere on the line inside the two endpoints.
Oh, I like that.
Inside the two endpoints.
In the middle.
In, well, you're talking about.
Somewhere.
Okay, hold on. What if I do this? What if I turn X, Y instead of a line segment into a line, and I put M over here? Is M between X and Y? It's on the line.
It has to be within the 2 points,
Within.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
like enclosed, like enclosed in X and Y.
Are you within the room 334? Are you within the planet Earth? You are? You're underground? Are you within the galaxy? What does within mean? You understand the confusion? Okay, so what you have to get used to is it seems like I'm just trying to beat a dead horse, but what we have to do is get a very careful definition of these things so that there's no confusion. All right, so that in the future when we say, I have this point K and it's between X and Y, we know exactly what that means. We know that K isn't up here. We know that K isn't off on this side. We know that K isn't over here. And so we want to write our definition so that we're describing the exact situation, and you're so close. I don't remember. You said it was on the line within the two endpoints. So you see the problem here. If I gave you the pen and had you come up and draw a line segment and put a point between it, you would all get it correct. Are we in agreement of that situation?
Yes.
Good. So we just need a good definition. Michelle, what do you got?
Between to be somewhere in the area of where one point ends and the other point.
I don't know what that A word means. I don't know.
Area?
Yeah, I don't know. We haven't. I don't know. I don't know. We haven't talked about that word yet. It scares me. What do these 2 points have in common that all the others don't have in common? And don't tell me they're between.
They're on the line segment.
Done. Okay. So if K is between X and Y, then just tell me what you said. If K, now I'm using specific letters. If K is between X and Y, then K
Is on the line segment.
done. Okay, which is what you were getting towards, but you changed line segment to line and it caused this confusion. Okay, you get that? A point is between two other points if it lies on the line segment. So K is between X and Y if it is on the line segment XY. So it eliminates these bizarre ones floating over here. It eliminates M over on the other side. It only allows us to deal with points that are exactly on that line segment. Okay, maybe this lesson is going to take a little bit longer than I thought. But that's okay. We got a good definition now. We all know what that means, right?
Yeah.
Excellent. Oh. Okay. Now a logistical standpoint here. We need to make sure you understand the difference between those two things. We've talked about this already. What is this? Line segment AB. The endpoints are A and B. We haven't talked about that yet. What happens when it has no symbol on it? If it had a line over it, we would know that it's the line AB. What happens when it doesn't have a symbol over it? This guy, like I said, is the line segment connecting points A and B. It's a physical object. You can draw it. You can pick it up and carry it around with you. AB without a symbol over the top of it is the distance from A to B. It's a numerical value. So what's going to happen on the first quiz is I'm going to ask you a question, say, what is AB? And you're just going to draw a circle and point to a segment. I don't want that. I want to know the distance. So we have the symbol for a line AB. We have a symbol for the line segment AB. And now we have a symbol for the distance from A to B. Okay, let's try this one. Now if you know what betweenness is, you should be able to set this problem up. And this is where we incorporate some of the algebra from yesterday. We've got a point B that's between A and C, and I gave you a bunch of values. Follow these 4 steps and try and solve the problem. Draw a sketch first, then label everything you need, set up an equation, solve for X, answer the question. Go. So again, learn what we just talked, or use what we just talked about betweenness to draw your picture. Anybody have any idea what they're doing? How many people have what they would think would be a pretty decent sketch of it? How many people have no clue what's going on? All right, let's do this one together, and then I've got another example for you. What does this look like? B is between A and C.
You have points A and C on the ends, and then you have point B somewhere.
So we got that. So A and C are the endpoints. B is somewhere on that segment. It doesn't have to be in the middle. It just has to be between, because remember we talked about that as a definition. It's got to be just on the line segment. So I drew it over there. Why? I don't know, I just did. And then I use the information from the algebra. I know that AB is 3x. I know that BC is 14. And I know the whole thing is 5x minus 4. Okay, so there's one. Set up the picture. Now the hard part. What equation applies to this scenario? Go.
5x minus 4 minus 3x equals 14.
That is true. Probably not the way I would have set it up, but that's fine. That's perfect. What do you got?
3x plus 14 equals 5x minus 4.
Second way to set it up. Okay. Add the two little guys together, you get the big guy. Take the big guy, subtract the little guy, you get the other little guy. It's all the same thing. That gives you a simple linear equation. Okay, so here's our original setup. The little guy plus the big guy, or sorry, the little guy plus the little guy has to equal the whole side. So then we got that equation, solve that, we get x equals 9. When you're solving algebraic equations in here, when you get done, you want to ask yourself a simple question. Did I answer the question the problem asked? This problem asked for two questions, or two things. It wants to know the value of x and the length of AB. So I found x to be 9. Then I need to take that value and plug it back into an equation to figure out how AB is, how long AB is. So 3 times 9 is 27, and we get our two answers. Question? Okay. Does that make sense? The key, I think, to this problem is drawing a good sketch so that you can see physically what's going on here, adding a little segment to a little segment and getting a big segment. Okay, everybody got this? Good, now you do that one. When you get done, check with your neighbor to see if he or she has the same answer. Even if you don't like the person next to you, it's just a matter of leaning over and saying, "Did you get this answer?" Check with somebody. Good, 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 good. Make sure you answer both questions. It's set, I think, for blue. If you'd like a different color, you can pick whatever you like.
Okay.
Just click on whatever color you want.
Okay.
Okay, let's stop for a second. How's her diagram? Perfect, great, keep going. Little chunk plus little chunk equals big chunk. Good. Half done. Do we agree with that answer, by the way? She got 4?
Yeah.
Yes.
Awesome. For those of you that did get 4 walking around the room, you set up your equation wrong. Remember, little plus little equals big. And then the other part of the question wants to know how big is ST, so she's plugging into ST and getting
Wait.
28. Beautiful. How'd she do? Good. Golf clap. Well done. Okay, any problems? All right, number 1, like I said, draw a careful picture so you can see what's going on. Remember, you add the 2 little pieces together to get the big piece. Set up your equation, solve for x, and then make sure that you answer the question that it's asking you, whether it's 1 question, 2 questions, etc. Congruent segments. So, new term, congruent. For our purposes, congruent is going to mean same shape, same size. There's a fancy-dancy math definition which we don't need to deal with. We just need to know that congruent means same shape and same size. These 2 segments up there are congruent. These little guys are called tick marks. Tick marks are used to denote congruent segments, and eventually when we get to that thing called an angle in a diagram. Okay. So, first way, AB is equal to CD. So remember the term AB means the length of AB. So this is saying 35 centimeters is equal to 35 centimeters. This is comparing distances. That's fine. However, we don't care about the distance. I want to be able to say that this thing is exactly the same as this. If I pick up this teal-looking segment and I lay it on top of the yellow segment, they'll match perfectly. To do that, we have a new symbol, which is a symbol for congruency, which is that. Okay, it's an equal sign with a tilde over it, or an equal sign with a squiggly over it. So notice the first one is comparing numbers, 35 to 35. The second one is comparing segments. Those segments have the same size, same shape. And that's our new symbol, congruence. Have you seen that symbol before?
Yeah.
Good. Then maybe it's not new, kind of new. We talked about tick marks already. It doesn't matter what you use for tick marks. You could use 1 little tick mark, you could use 2, you could draw a kitty cat, it doesn't matter, as long as they match up. So anything with a kitty cat on it will be equal to anything else with a kitty cat on it. Might take a little bit too much time to draw kitty cats, but it's entirely up to you. Okay, we're done. So it is currently 9:55. Let me stop recording here.